If you've been in fundraising for any amount of time, especially in a leadership role, you've probably been asked at certain points to figure out how you can cut costs going into the next year. Or maybe you spent some time actually planning your budget for the next year to see, where should we make additional investments. Sometimes it's really hard to know where we should cut, where we should make new investments, and understand what's the long-term impact of these choices. If we reduce our acquisition budget by 20%, what's that really going to do for the overall health of our program? One of the beautiful things about the Avid Scorecard is it doesn't just tell you what's happening now, but it helps build in some very simple tools for you to see what's the long-term impact if I don't make any changes, or if I can improve things, or if things get worse, what's really going to happen? So if you look down below in the scorecard, you can see two things that I want you to take particular note of. On the left over here, you have the current projections for this fiscal year. Given the current state of things as you see above, this organization is on track to bring in about $6.9 million in revenue, have nearly 6,000 donors, and you can see the average revenue per donor here. You can see on the right side, what's the 3-year projection? Based on all the data that's coming into the platform, what we see with historical trends, what's happening currently right now, this is where Avid is forecasting that you're going to be over 3 years. You might see a win in 2025, but then revenue starts to actually fall down in the preceding 2 years. So much so that over 3 years, you might actually see a $3.2 million loss. That's money that's not going towards the mission. That means that we have a big problem right now that we need to solve. Even if this year looks good, well, the way that things are going, the future is actually fairly bleak. So how do we solve that? That's one of the best things about this tool that's called the what if tool. So right now I'm looking at acquisition, and we're currently seeing a 29% decrease in donor acquisition for the year. What would happen if we could maybe not even get it up to just flat, but reduce how much it's declining? What if we only were losing, what if we were seeing just a 10% increase? It's a little bit healthier. You can see this sort of slows the flow, or the leaky bucket, if you will, that's on acquisition here. You can see it obviously improves the revenue for this year, but it's starting to improve this 3-year picture. Okay. We've slowed the declining rates of acquisition. What if we can do a couple of things to improve retention as well? Let's say we get retention to a point where it's only decreasing by 10% this year. Still not a great situation. We'd like to see it improving, but if we can just make a few small improvements, check this out. Now we're seeing, okay, a marginal increase on our revenue for this year, but we're seeing now that we've totally flipped the narrative, that in 3 years, instead of having a big loss in revenue, we actually would bring in an additional $1.8 million that can be moved towards the mission. So this what if tool built into the scorecard is incredibly powerful to give you the tools that you need to make strategic decisions when it comes to planning your budgets, planning your initiatives. Because now you're not just looking at what do I need to do now to hit my 12-month budget, but you can look far out into the future to say, how does my choice today, how does my investment over the next quarter, the next few months, how's it going to impact the long-term success of our mission, which puts you in a much stronger position to make confident decisions about how you're going to move forward. So take some time to play around with the what if tool inside of the scorecard. You might be surprised at some of the insights that you can draw from it.